Treehouse Time by Frank Astle, Manly 2095. Narrated by David Tredynik. The year 1981 was a watershed year. With 4 adventurously active young sons, we were outgrowing our home. The backyard was too small, the road we fronted too frantic. The sole tree, a frangipani, was too fragile for the treehouse I had been determined to install. Our new Federation-style home had the bonus of a heavily wooded backyard. Still in suburban Sydney, it kindled memories of a country childhood surrounded by solid and suitable timber. I grew up in the company of sturdy jacaranda, peppercorn and gum trees, one of which briefly housed a structurally suspect sub-teenage structure, my first attempt at a treehouse. That original peppercorn house was a packing crate in which our new water heater had arrived. For my parents, it heralded an era of reliable hot water. For me, it was the dawning of the age of the treehouse. Dad had overseen the crate's ascension and roping to the branches. Clambering in, I soon realised that it was going to struggle to support any more bodies than mine, but the comfort of having, as a child, an elevated, exclusive outdoor retreat must have remained with me. Soon after, with access, supervised or otherwise, to a basic Black & Decker power tool kit, I was up and running with a lifetime attraction to bush carpentry. The move provided a jacaranda with a sturdy triangulated fork around shoulder height. The adjacent crepe myrtle had a lower confluence of branches that also showed promise. I could do a much better treehouse this time. Fast forward 44 years. Our youngest grandchild is 9. "Dad," Matthew whispers mischievously over the FaceTime call from New Jersey, "I let slip that you had built us a treehouse. Juliet would love one when we come over." A chuckling disclaimer followed to the effect that he wasn't really serious about asking me to get to work on a cubby that would have fleeting occupancy, but the cat was out of the bag. My treehouse obsession, dormant for so long, had been awakened. By the time this project beckoned, we had long since left the bush. The boys had their own families, but an excuse to cut, drill, bolt and build in the backyard again was irresistible. Many years ago, the jacaranda that would be the focus of the new treehouse had been given a terminal prognosis by a tree surgeon, partly because of the extra soil dumped around its trunk as we created, literally, a level playing field out of the sloping yard. The tree responded with a sustained growth spurt that by now provided the arboreal architecture for an even more substantial structure than in 1981. While higher, the fork was wider and thicker and well suited to the structural ply and 4x2 supports I could weave into it. The treehouse Matthew remembered was dismantled long ago, fatally twisted and compromised by the spread and spurt of the supposedly doomed tree. That treehouse had been designed as a vantage point, a safe haven, a 2-platform climbing aid to scaling the lower reaches of the beefy jacaranda. The boys could use it to add variety and complexity to their running, hiding and chasing games. Now its replacement came with a more specific design brief. It needed to host tea parties and to be a comfortable and attractive retreat for a young girl's creativity and self-sufficiency. Juliet's grandmother, sceptical at first about the enterprise, became an unstoppable advocate and safety monitor. The flooring was extended and over-engineered. The ladder made much more forgiving than the previous rustic leg-up. The crowning glory was a pulley system installed for winching up supplies. Cushions and a table were added, with a broom to sweep the floor. Juliet took to it like a bird to a branch. She was intrigued by the pulley and quickly learned the ropes while fastidiously plating up for the tea parties. Of course, the holiday was over in a flash. Dismantle? Why? Here is a reminder of both continuity and change. Around us, backyards have become something of an anomaly as developments oozing concrete and paving and pools encroach from all sides. In the meantime, our patch of greenish earth has flourished, dominated by the old jacaranda's massively spreading and annually shedding canopy. The nearby palm has kept pace, and both species have healthy self-seeded offspring. Bird life has flourished. While her uncles had Basil, the pet cockatoo, Juliet had close encounters with wild yet friendly lorikeets, a couple of semi-resident magpies, visiting kookaburras and cockatoos, and the scrabbling brush turkeys. Admittedly, the backyard now gets less sun on the ground, but despite the attention of the night foragers, there is more grass since the cricket pitch that had been worn to a solid compound over multiple tests eventually sprouted a medley of green. The challenge to turf and garden now comes from the less visible but clearly evident posse of bandicoots and possums, while a small family, nuclear no doubt, of rabbits likes to burrow as well as nibble. The jacaranda has witnessed a varied population over the years. In retrospect, each intrusive construction was fueled by a pervasive gender bias, although ultimately balanced and suited to their time and circumstance. At least that is how I would try to justify the inspiration for them in the afterglow of Me Too consciousness. In the several months since the treehouse was used, it is blending in well, with leaves and droppings on the floor and foliage thickening around subtle support beams. Some of Juliet's decorations are still in place, like wire butterflies and delicately arranged shells and pebbles. My resolve to leave it in place is strengthening. And who knows, when our American family visits again in 2027 and Juliet is 11, she might like to rediscover it. While future historians may split our era into before and after devices, our treehouses testify that there are timeless activities and entertainment outside and apart from devices. For us, a backyard treehouse remains an ongoing reminder of generations of happy childhoods. The end.